Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. In today's video, we're diving into the world of one of America's most iconic coins, the Buffalo nickel. We'll be exploring the top 5 most expensive and most valuable United States 5-cent Buffalo nickels, uncovering their history, rarity, and what makes them so highly prized by collectors today. If you've ever wondered which of these classic coins can fetch incredible prices on the market, you're in the right place. Let's get started. First up in the 1944, Buffalo nickel is one of the most fascinating and highly prized pieces in American numismatics, admired by collectors for its history, design, and rarity. While Buffalo nickels were officially discontinued in 1938 and replaced with the Jefferson nickel, a rare transitional minting error in Denver created a handful of 1944 Buffalo nickels, making it one of the most coveted U.S. coins today. Its significance lies in its sheer rarity and the circumstances surrounding its creation, coins that were never meant to exist. For collectors, the appeal of this nickel goes far beyond its face value, representing both a historic accident and an extraordinary find. Today, the 1944 Buffalo nickel holds legendary status in the hobby and continues to command strong demand whenever it appears in auctions or private collections. To understand the importance of the 1944 Buffalo nickel, one must consider the broader historical setting. The Buffalo nickel series, designed by James Earl Fraser, ran from 1913 until 1938, when it was replaced by the Jefferson nickel. However, due to World War II and the changing needs of the U.S. Mint, coin production occasionally saw unexpected shifts. In 1942, wartime composition changes were made to save nickel for the war effort, and by 1944, Jefferson nickels with the large P, D, or S mint marks above Monticello were the standard. Somehow, a leftover Buffalo nickel die was used at the Denver Mint in 1944, producing this incredible rarity. This rare error was not intentional, making it both historically and numismatically significant, as it connects two iconic U.S. coin series during a pivotal wartime era. The coin bears the classic design of the Buffalo nickel, which is instantly recognizable and widely admired. The obverse features the composite profile of a Native American chief, with the date 1944 visible, a detail that alone makes the coin remarkable, since production for Buffalo nickels had ended years earlier. On the reverse, the powerful image of an American bison, commonly referred to as a buffalo, is shown standing on a mound, with the mint mark P for Denver beneath the denomination 5 cents. Struck in the same copper-nickel composition as pre-war issues, it weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. What makes this coin truly unique is the anachronism of its date and design combination. A Buffalo nickel that should not exist in 1944, making it stand out from all other nickels of the era. The rarity of the 1944 Buffalo nickel cannot be overstated. Only a handful of specimens are known to exist, making it one of the most elusive rarities in U.S. coinage. Unlike coins with large mintages that depend on condition for their value, this coin is inherently scarce regardless of grade. Still, condition remains important, as higher-grade examples with strong detail and minimal wear are virtually priceless to collectors. Most surviving pieces show light circulation wear, but any example approaching mint state is considered extraordinary. The scarcity is driven not only by the error itself, but also by the fact that these nickels were quickly replaced by wartime Jefferson nickels, leaving very few survivors in circulation. The market value of the 1944 Buffalo nickel is among the highest for 20th century U.S. coins. Even in lower circulated grades, it can sell for tens of thousands of dollars due to its sheer rarity. High-grade examples, especially those authenticated by leading grading services such as PCGS or NGC, have been known to fetch well over $100,000 at major auctions. The combination of its accidental minting, tiny known population, and historical significance ensures that its value remains strong, with continued appreciation as more collectors compete for the very limited number of coins in existence. Auction records consistently highlight the desirability of this piece, cementing its place as a dream coin for advanced collectors. For collectors hoping to add a 1944 Buffalo nickel to their collection, patience, diligence, and significant financial investment are required. Since this coin is one of the most counterfeited and altered U.S. rarities, authentication by a top-tier grading service is essential. Collectors should always look for certified examples and tamper-proof holders from PCGS or NGC. Because the coin is so scarce, it is most often encountered in high-end auctions, specialized numismatic shows, or through reputable rare coin dealers. Proper storage is also critical, with climate-controlled environments and protective holders helping preserve the coin's surfaces and detail. Given its rarity, many collectors will never own one. But even studying or viewing this coin in person at coin shows or exhibitions is considered a highlight for numismatists. The 1944 P Buffalo nickel is far more than a 5-cent piece. It is a historical anomaly, a collector's treasure, and one of the rarest nickels ever produced by the United States Mint. Its accidental creation during a time of war, combined with the enduring appeal of the buffalo design, gives it unmatched historical and aesthetic importance. With only a handful known, its rarity drives extraordinary market values, making it a cornerstone piece for advanced collections and a symbol of numismatic prestige. For both seasoned collectors and newcomers, the 1944 D Buffalo nickel represents the perfect blend of history, artistry, and rarity, ensuring its legacy as one of America's most valuable and sought-after coins. Next up in the 1943, P Buffalo nickel stands as one of the most fascinating and rarest coins in United States numismatic history. While Buffalo nickels were officially discontinued in 1938 and replaced by the Jefferson nickel, an extremely limited number of Buffalo nickels dated 1943 with the Philadelphia P mint mark are believed to exist due to experimental striking or minting anomalies. This makes them one of the ultimate holy grail coins in the Buffalo nickel series. Highly sought after by collectors worldwide, the 1943 P Buffalo nickel holds a near-legendary status for its extreme rarity, unique historical context, and the staggering values it commands whenever one surfaces in the market. The 1943 P Buffalo nickel was struck during World War II, a time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with coinage metals due to wartime shortages. In 1942, the Mint shifted nickel production from 75% copper and 25% nickel to a wartime alloy of silver, manganese, and copper. The Jefferson nickel was the active circulating 5-cent piece, and no Buffalo nickels were scheduled for release. However, evidence suggests that a very small number of Buffalo nickels dated 1943 were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, possibly as test pieces or transitional errors. This rarity ties the coin directly to one of the most critical eras of American history, heightening its cultural and historical importance. The 1943 P features James Earl Fraser's celebrated design. The obverse displays a bold Native American profile, modeled after a composite of several tribal leaders, with the date at the lower left. The reverse depicts the iconic American bison, often referred to as a buffalo, standing on a raised mound. What distinguishes the 1943 P from other Buffalo nickels is the combination of its unauthorized date and its P mint mark above the bison's horn, confirming its Philadelphia origin. Struck in standard copper nickel rather than the wartime silver alloy, the coin is instantly recognizable as an anomaly. In high-grade conditions, its strong strike and sharp details make it both a visual masterpiece and an incredible conversation piece. The rarity of the 1943 P Buffalo nickel cannot be overstated. Numismatic experts believe only a handful exist, possibly fewer than 10 verified examples, making it one of the rarest 20th-century U.S. coins. Its scarcity stems from its likely creation as a minting accident or experiment, never intended for circulation. Because of this, surviving examples are usually in higher conditions, preserved by collectors who recognize their uniqueness early on. Certified examples graded by PCGS or NGC are the gold standard, and the difference in value between an XF, extra fine, and a mint state example is astronomical due to the microscopic population. The market value of the 1943 P Buffalo nickel reflects its rarity and demand. In circulated condition, values can range from $100,000 to $250,000, while certified mint state specimens have fetch prices exceeding $500,000 at major auctions. Private sales and numismatic reports suggest that in pristine MS-65 or higher grades, the coin could easily cross the $1 million mark depending on collector interest at the time of sale. Its steady appreciation over the decades has cemented its place as a premier rarity, and its rarity ensures that demand will always exceed supply. Few coins from the Buffalo series, or even from all of U.S. coinage, can rival its financial and historical allure. Acquiring a 1943 P Buffalo nickel is both a dream and a challenge. Authentication is critical. Because of its rarity, the coin has been heavily counterfeited, with altered dates and mint marks being common tricks. Collectors should only purchase certified examples from trusted grading services such as PCGS or NGC. When handling such high-value pieces, secure storage is essential, ideally in climate-controlled environments or professional vaults. For those unable to secure an original, high-quality replicas can still provide educational and display value, while focusing on other key rarities of the Buffalo Nickel series, such as the 1913 Type 1 or the 1937 D three-legged Buffalo, can build an impressive collection alongside it. The 1943 P Buffalo Nickel is how seldom it comes up for public sale. Unlike other rare coins that surface more regularly at auctions, this piece is so scarce that each confirmed appearance becomes a headline event in the numismatic world. When examples have appeared at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers, they have commanded immense attention, with spirited bidding wars pushing prices far beyond pre-sale estimates. The rarity of public appearances means that many collectors may never even see this coin in person during their lifetime, further enhancing its mystique. This scarcity of supply on the open market ensures that demand remains extraordinarily high whenever one surfaces. Comparison to other Buffalo Nickel rarities. When placed alongside other celebrated rarities of the Buffalo Nickel series, the 1943 P clearly sits at the very top. Coins such as the 1916 Double Die Obverse or the 1937 D three-legged Buffalo are highly desirable and command impressive premiums, but they are more accessible, with hundreds or even thousands of known survivors. The 1943 P, by contrast, is in a league of its own due to its minuscule surviving population. Its rarity is not the result of mass circulation or overuse, but rather of being struck in such tiny numbers under unusual circumstances. This distinction elevates it from being merely a valuable coin to being a true numismatic phenomenon, the type of rarity that defines entire collecting careers. Looking forward, the legacy of the 1943 P Buffalo Nickel is secure. It represents not just the artistry of Fraser's design, but also the unpredictability and intrigue of the U.S. mint's history. As the coin market continues to mature and global collectors turn their attention toward American classics, coins like this are likely to appreciate even further in both monetary and cultural value. Its enduring appeal lies in the fact that it offers something for every type of collector. It is historically significant, aesthetically beautiful, and almost impossibly rare. For many, it stands as the ultimate dream coin, one that symbolizes the pursuit of excellence in numismatics and the passion that drives collectors to seek out the rarest treasures. The 1943 P Buffalo Nickel is not just a coin, it is a numismatic legend. Its accidental creation during one of the most defining moments in American history, combined with its artistic design, extreme scarcity, and sky-high market value, make it one of the most desirable coins in the world. For advanced collectors, it represents the pinnacle of achievement, a centerpiece of any collection, and a tangible link to both U.S. history and the artistry of American coinage. Whether admired for its beauty, its rarity, or its investment potential, the 1943 P Buffalo Nickel will continue to captivate the imagination of numismatists for generations to come. Next up in the 1941 Jefferson Nickel is one of those fascinating coins that manages to capture attention not only for its age, but also for its connection to American history and the rise of modern coin collecting. While the Jefferson Nickel series has been minted continuously since 1938, the 1941 issue stands out because it was struck during a time of global conflict and economic transition. For collectors, the 1941 5-cent piece represents far more than a simple coin. It's a tangible link to a nation preparing to enter World War II, and certain rare varieties from this year have gone on to command impressive values in the numismatic market. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 to replace the beloved Buffalo nickel. Felix Schlag's design, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, on the reverse, became an enduring symbol of American ideals. By 1941, production of the nickel had ramped up significantly, with coins struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. What makes this year so interesting is that it came right before the U.S. government altered nickel composition in 1942 to conserve metals for the war effort. In other words, the 1941 nickel is the last standard composition Jefferson nickel struck before wartime changes reshaped the coinage landscape. The 1941 nickel carries all the signature hallmarks of Schlag's work. Jefferson's portrait faces left, with strong detailing in his hair, facial profile, and jacket collar. The reverse features Monticello, with the word Monticello clearly inscribed beneath the image, along with 5 cents and United States of America. Mint marks can be found to the right of Monticello, with D for Denver and S for San Francisco, while Philadelphia-issued coins carried no mint mark at all during this period. It's these mint mark details, combined with certain striking varieties and conditions, that turn the 1941 nickel from an ordinary piece of change into a coveted treasure. Among the most valuable and desirable varieties of the 1941 Jefferson nickel are the double-die obverse and reverses, where slight doubling of lettering or design elements can be detected. These varieties were created when the coin dies shifted slightly during preparation, creating a distinct and collectible anomaly. Another rarity is the full steps variety on the reverse. Collectors prize nickels that show all 6 steps at the base of Monticello clearly struck, as they indicate a sharp, precise strike that is far harder to come by. For the 1941 nickel, examples with full steps are exceptionally difficult to find in high grades, making them some of the most expensive Jefferson nickels in existence. Rarity, of course, plays a massive role in determining the value of the 1941 nickel. While millions were struck, the survival of well-preserved examples, especially those with full steps, is extremely limited. Circulated nickels from 1941 are easy to find and typically worth only a few dollars at best, but mint-state examples with strong luster, sharp details, and no noticeable wear climb dramatically in price. When you add in doubling varieties or full-step designations certified by grading services, the value can leap exponentially, sometimes surpassing thousands of dollars at auction. Market value for this coin varies widely depending on condition and rarity. A standard 1941 nickel in average circulated condition might sell for around $1 to $5, but move into the higher uncirculated grades, and the price can range from $50 to several $100s. The real stars, however, are the full-step examples and rare double-die varieties. These can bring $1,000 to $5,000, or even more, depending on eye appeal and certification. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels understand just how rare these sharply struck coins are, and competition for them can be fierce in major coin auctions. For collectors seeking to acquire a 1941 Jefferson nickel, careful attention must be paid to condition. Look for coins with original mint luster, clean surfaces, and the best possible detail on Monticello's steps. Certification from trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC adds immense value, not only for verifying authenticity, but also for confirming a coin's grade and any special designations like full steps. It's also wise to buy from reputable dealers or auctions, where provenance and grading accuracy are more reliable than casual online sales. Building a strategy for acquiring a valuable 1941 nickel involves patience and knowledge. Instead of rushing into the first purchase, collectors should study auction results, learn how to spot double dies and weak strikes, and become familiar with what makes one example worth hundreds versus thousands. Networking with other collectors or joining numismatic clubs can also open doors to opportunities, as rare Jefferson nickels often change hands privately before ever reaching the open market. The 1941 Jefferson nickel so appealing is its blend of historical context, design beauty, and scarcity in top conditions. It's a coin that tells the story of America on the brink of war, while also rewarding those collectors who pay close attention to the smallest of details. For many, it represents a perfect balance of affordability and rarity, common enough for beginners to encounter, yet rare enough in high grades to spark excitement among seasoned numismatists. The 1941 Jefferson nickel proves that even a small 5-cent coin can embody a wealth of history, artistry, and financial potential. From its role as the last pre-war issue of the Jefferson series to the allure of doubled dies and elusive full steps, this coin has carved out a special place in the world of American numismatics. For collectors, owning a high-grade 1941 nickel isn't just about value. It's about holding a tangible piece of history, a snapshot of a nation at a turning point, and a timeless treasure that continues to inspire fascination and admiration today. Next up in the 1946 Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel holds a fascinating place in the world of American coinage, not just because of its age, but because of what it represents. Imagine holding a coin that looks worn, tarnished, or even dirty on the surface, yet beneath that rough exterior lies a treasure worth thousands of dollars. This particular nickel carries both the history of post-war America and the thrill of discovering hidden value in what many might overlook as just another old coin. To understand the significance of this nickel, we need to step back into the year 1946. The United States was emerging from the shadows of World War II, and the economy was shifting into a new era of growth and opportunity. The Jefferson nickel design, created by sculptor Felix Schlag in 1938, continued into this period, featuring Jefferson's portrait on the front and his home, Monticello, on the back. However, 1946 marked the first year after the U.S. stopped producing wartime nickels that contained silver, returning to the original copper-nickel alloy. This transition makes the 1946 nickel not only historically significant, but also a key marker of change in American currency. The 1946 nickel, especially interesting to collectors, is the presence of certain mint marks and varieties. While the Philadelphia Mint produced the bulk of these coins, the Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, issues often carry stronger collector appeal. Coins struck at these mints can sometimes reveal weak strikes, doubling, or small die variations that dramatically influence value. On top of that, most surviving examples from circulation today appear dull, dirty, and well-worn, but those that have survived in pristine condition, with full steps visible on Monticello's design, are extremely rare and command sky-high prices at auction. The uniqueness of this nickel lies not just in its design, but in how its condition tells a story. Many of these coins circulated heavily through the 1940s and 1950s, which means high-grade survivors are scarce. Collectors often look for examples with sharp detail, natural toning, or even unusual dirty patinas that create a rugged, eye-catching look. Believe it or not, a coin that appears unattractive to the untrained eye may actually carry enormous value due to its rarity in high technical grades or its appeal as a natural survivor from circulation. Rarity is always the driving force in coin collecting, and the 1946 nickel is no exception. Coins with full-step details on Monticello are almost impossible to find in grades above mint state, 65. These are the nickels that turn a pocket change discovery into a small fortune. Auction records show that some pristine examples have sold for over $10,000, while more typical mint state pieces can still bring in $1,000 to $5,000 depending on quality and mint mark. This dramatic price jump between worn, dirty nickels worth just face value and rare, high-grade pieces worth thousands illustrates the thrill of the hunt in numismatics. Market value today reflects both condition and demand. A circulated 1946 nickel with obvious wear may only bring in $1 or $2, unless it carries a rare die variety. But a coin certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC as mint state, 66 with full steps can easily climb into the four-figure range. Collectors with a sharp eye for detail know to look closely at the Monticello steps, the sharpness of Jefferson's hair, and the overall luster of the coin. Even beneath layers of dirt or tarnish, these details can make or break its value. For collectors hoping to acquire a valuable 1946 nickel, strategy is everything. Scouring old coin collections, dealer inventories, and even rolls of nickels from the bank can occasionally yield hidden treasures. Always prioritize condition, as higher grades will always outpace average examples in value. Authentication is also essential. Submitting coins for professional grading is the best way to secure their true worth and appeal to serious buyers. Some collectors even prefer naturally toned or dirty nickels, as these show originality and haven't been harshly cleaned, which can lower a coin's desirability. The 1946 Jefferson nickel lies in more than just its market value. It tells a story of America's recovery after World War II, a return to normalcy in coinage, and the enduring legacy of Thomas Jefferson as one of the nation's founding fathers. Holding one of these coins, especially an old, circulated example, feels like touching a piece of everyday life from nearly 80 years ago. And for those lucky enough to find a rare, high-grade survivor, the thrill is magnified by the knowledge that these coins are among the most desirable nickels of the mid-20th century. The 1946 nickel is both stable and exciting. Its market has grown steadily over the decades, fueled by collectors who appreciate its historical roots and rarity in top condition. Unlike some modern issues that rely on hype, this coin's value is grounded in genuine scarcity and historical appeal. That's why it continues to capture the imagination of seasoned collectors and newcomers alike. The 1946 Jefferson nickel is how environmental factors play into its survival. Many of these coins were tucked away in drawers, jars, or even buried in the ground, leading to surface damage, dirt buildup, or discoloration. While heavy corrosion lowers a coin's value, some dirty nickels display beautiful natural toning that collectors prize. Shades of deep blues, gold, or smoky grays across the surface can actually increase desirability, giving each coin a unique character that no two examples share. Collectors also love the chase of finding overlooked treasures among coins that appear worthless at first glance. Stories abound of people discovering a grimy old nickel in a box of inherited change, only to have it graded and valued in the thousands due to its rarity and condition. These tales keep the excitement alive, showing that the world of numismatics is not limited to museums or wealthy investors. Anyone can stumble across a 1946 Jefferson nickel, and the possibility that a dirty old coin could change someone's financial fortune adds a sense of magic to the hunt. The cultural significance of this coin also shouldn't be underestimated. In 1946, America was shifting from war to peace, and coins like the Jefferson nickel passed through countless hands during this transformative time. They jingled in the pockets of returning soldiers, bought groceries for families, and symbolized the start of a hopeful era. Owning one today isn't just about market value. It's about holding a tangible piece of American resilience. Even if a coin is dirty or heavily circulated, it still carries the weight of that history, reminding us that value is not only measured in dollars, but also in the stories preserved in metal. The 1946 Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel proves that not all treasures come in shiny packages. Sometimes the most valuable coins look old, dirty, or ordinary at first glance, but with the right eye and knowledge, they reveal themselves as extraordinary. Whether you're drawn by its history, its design, or its investment potential, this nickel deserves a place in any serious collection. It is a perfect reminder that every coin has a story, and the thrill of discovery is often just a pocketful of change away. Next up to in the when most collectors think of valuable nickels, their minds jump back to the buffalo designs or the silver war nickels of the 1940s. But sometimes, the hidden gems of numismatics are found in much later years, and one shining example is the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary, dull, dirty, and often ignored in circulation. But beneath that worn metal lies one of the most surprising stories of modern American coinage. For a date that produced millions of coins, the 1989 D holds secrets that have fascinated collectors for decades. The year 1989 was a time of change in America. The Cold War was winding down, George H.W. Bush had just taken office as president, and the Denver Mint was busy striking coins for everyday commerce. Jefferson nickels had already been in production for over 50 years, featuring the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the Monticello building on the reverse. To most people, these were simply pocket change, worth exactly 5 cents. Yet, As collectors soon realized, certain examples from the Denver Mint of 1989 had qualities that would eventually elevate them into the realm of rare, high-value coins. What makes the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel truly special is not its mintage size. Over 570 million pieces were struck in Denver that year, but the combination of condition rarity, striking anomalies, and the passage of time. With so many coins entering circulation, nearly all of them became worn, grimy, and scratched beyond recognition. Finding a coin in pristine condition was difficult then, and it's even harder now, 36 years later. High-grade survivors with sharp details and bright luster are rare, and it's these coins that have set record-breaking prices when they appear at auction. Adding to the intrigue are the subtle varieties and striking errors that emerged in 1989. Collectors have noted die deterioration in certain Denver strikes, where details of Jefferson's hair and Monticello's columns are mushy and blurred. On the flip side, sharply struck examples stand out dramatically, showing clean lines, bold steps on Monticello's base, and mirror-like surfaces. The rare full steps designation, awarded only when every step of the Monticello building is visible without interruption, is the ultimate prize for Jefferson Nickel specialists. Dirty, worn examples are common, but crisp full steps coins from 1989 D are exceptionally scarce. The market has responded to this scarcity with enthusiasm. While a typical circulated 1989 D nickel might only be worth its face value of 5 cents, the story changes dramatically when condition is considered. Extra fine examples may fetch a few dollars, but certified full steps coins graded MS66 or higher have sold for $1,000 to $5,000. Depending on strike quality and eye appeal. This is where the dirty coin in your change could become a treasure. What looks like a common nickel may, under magnification, reveal a rare survivor worth thousands. Collectors also appreciate the unique visual character that old, dirty examples of this nickel can take on. Tarnished surfaces, subtle toning, and years of wear create a rugged, almost historical look that connects the coin to its journey through American pockets and purses. While condition is king in the marketplace, these circulated nickels still tell the story of a working coin that passed through countless hands, carrying the legacy of Jefferson's vision of liberty and democracy. For some enthusiasts, even a grimy example has charm and deserves a place in their collection. For those hoping to add a 1989 D. Jefferson nickel to their collection, strategy is key. The first step is careful searching. Roll hunting from banks remains a popular way to find nickels in circulation, though patience is required. Coin shows and online auctions provide more reliable access to high-grade examples, but buyers must be vigilant about authenticity. Submitting a coin to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm its condition and greatly increase its market value. Collectors should focus on sharp details, minimal marks, and those elusive full steps when selecting their coin. Another important tip is to keep an eye out for unattractive coins that could be hiding real potential. A dirty, overlooked nickel in a dealer's bulk bin might actually be a candidate for professional conservation. Cleaning should never be attempted by an amateur, as it can permanently damage the surface and destroy the coin's value. However, when properly conserved and graded, such coins can emerge from their grimy shells as sparkling examples of modern minting artistry. What truly sets the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel apart is how it bridges the gap between everyday money and serious investment. It represents a modern coin that challenges the idea that only old or silver coins can be valuable. By combining rarity and top condition, the mystique of varieties, and the enduring appeal of Jefferson's classic design, this coin has earned its place in the spotlight. Its market performance has also made it a smart investment for collectors who appreciate both history and financial growth. Beyond its monetary value, the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel also represents a fascinating period in U.S. mint history. The late 1980s saw advances in minting technology, yet inconsistencies in die quality and strike pressure were still common. This meant that while most coins from 1989 look flat or weakly detailed, the rare ones struck with precision stand out dramatically. Collectors who study these differences gain not only a financial advantage, but also a deeper appreciation of the minting process itself. Every sharp Monticello step or crisp detail in Jefferson's hair tells the story of a fleeting moment when everything aligned perfectly inside the Denver Mint's presses. Another layer of appeal lies in the cultural and symbolic meaning of the coin. Thomas Jefferson, featured prominently on the obverse, was a president, philosopher, and architect of American democracy. His Monticello home on the reverse is more than just a building. It's a national icon representing innovation, independence, and leadership. Holding a 1989 D nickel, whether dirty and circulated or shining in mint condition, connects collectors to these ideals. The design has been in use for decades, and this continuity gives modern issues like the 1989 D a sense of timelessness that keeps collectors engaged. Finally, the story of the 1989 D Jefferson Nickel is one of patience and discovery. Unlike coins that are rare by mintage, this nickel hides its value behind a curtain of commonness. Millions exist, but only a select few meet the criteria that collectors chase. This creates a thrilling treasure hunt atmosphere. The 1989 D Jefferson Nickel proves that even a coin that looks dirty, ordinary, or insignificant can hold extraordinary value. Whether admired for its rugged history, chased for its full steps rarity, or treasured as a high-grade gem worth thousands, it is a coin that commands respect. For seasoned numismatists and new collectors alike, this nickel is a reminder that sometimes the most exciting treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right pair of eyes to discover them.